I've come out to Beaconsfield today to meet Nik Powell. Now, Nik is the director of the National Film and Television School, and he's also the chairman of Scala Productions. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into directing?
The advice that I would give, well, there's so many different pieces of advice to give, but the first thing, obviously, is to get directing. And if you want to be a director, then you need to get directing. Now, that might be directing theatre, might be directing television shows, it might be directing short films, it might be directing promos, it might be directing music videos, so same thing, it might be directing commercials, it might be doing corporate, but the main thing is the way you learn in life. One of the main ways that everybody learns in life is by doing it. Most successful British directors, you know, have previously directed in different mediums other than feature film.
Sure.
I liken it to the tabloid journalists. You know, to journalism, where in the old days anyway, it may be different now, and we have to obviously put Oxbridge people on one side because they seem to be able to fast track into everything. But if you haven't been to Oxbridge, then, you know, on a newspaper, you start on your local paper, you report weddings and raffles and boring stuff, and then you work your way gradually, you know, up into the national newspapers and tabloids, and then maybe broadsheets, and then one day you become editor. It seems to be the thing in the film industry that you didn't just become a director like straight away. So there's two advice. One is do it, and the other one is do it in any form, because directing's the same for each of these medium. Right. You know, the basic skills of what it takes, because when you say directing, it's like directing people, things, and that's what you do in all these medium. And the more you do it, rather than, as I say, so many people running around Soho with a script under their arm, and they're not practicing. So when they do eventually, if they get it made, and they do eventually get to do it, it's often crap. So, you know, you need to be practicing, and learning and practicing, those are the two things I think, not just directors, but anybody in any trade needs to do to get really good at something, to learn and to practice. Well, my journey into the film business is really totally irrelevant to most people's journey into film business, because I came out of a successful, relatively successful career in the record business. There's a lot, like Saul Zaentz, me and others, even Tim Bevan, who came from rock and roll before we came into the film business. So there's a big tradition of film producers coming from other businesses and then turning their attention to film and then losing all their money.
Wow.
And I'm one of those.
From my perspective then, do you think it's good to start off as a runner, and do you think that's a good way to get into film?
I think if you can't make your fortune some other way and then come into the business as a film producer, it's probably second best. You know, if you could, like one of the other producers, you know, was very successful in ladies' underwear and sold it very heavily and successfully to Hollywood starlets, and then he became a producer. If you can't go that route, or it doesn't appeal to you, I mean it would appeal to me, but it might not appeal to you, then starting as a runner is, as I say, second or third best way to do it.